I want to tell you about a moment that I witnessed just a few weeks ago. And it's one that I keep coming back to. I was in a room with a client of mine and a few of the people on her team. And someone on that team, not the owner, not someone with like a formal AI title, just someone who had been around the business long enough to understand it deeply. She stood up and she showed three things she had built. Nobody assigned it, nobody asked for it. She just saw the problems. She went to figure it out and show up with solutions. And I'm sitting there, I'm watching this happen, and I'm thinking, this is it. This is actually what it's supposed to look like. So here's what gets me about this. My client, she's sharp. She cares deeply about her team. She runs a really good business, but for years, everything ran through her. Every judgment call, every edge case, every time the team hit something that they weren't sure about, they'd wait for her, right? And she knew it. It was on her list. Quarter after quarter, she kept saying, I need to fix this. I need to get out of the middle of it. I've seen this in probably 30 businesses that I've worked with closely, and it's probably the most common thing, right? The owner doesn't intend to become the bottleneck. They just end up one, right? Gradually, because they were the most capable person in the room, and everyone just learned to wait for the owner, right? So we're talking through this problem, and a few weeks later, someone on her team decides to go build something. So here's the three things. The first thing was a scope checker. So her team does project work, and anytime that a client would send a request that felt maybe a little outside of what was agreed upon, the team would kind of freeze up. Is this in scope? Should we charge for it? Do we need to go ask? And that question would eventually find its way back to the owner of this business. So what this person built was a Claude project with all of the firm's scopes loaded into it. Contracts, addendums, proposals, all of it. You drop in the client's request, you get back, here's what's in scope, here's what's not, here's a draft of how to communicate it with that specific client. One step, question answered, owner's not involved anymore. The second thing was a knowledge base. Look, every business I've ever worked with has the same problem. The knowledge lives in people's heads. Processes that, they're not written down. How to handle a specific type of a client, not written down or put somewhere. What do we do when this particular thing breaks? And when someone doesn't know, they either guess or they go find the one person who does know, and that person usually is the owner. And they have to stop what they're doing just to answer that one question. So she took everything, brain dumps, recordings, walkthrough, scattered documents that lived in like 11 different folders, pulled it all into NotebookLM. Now everyone on the team can type in the question and get back an answer. And this answer is in whatever format they need it in, right? So bullet points, if that's how you think. Full paragraphs if you need the full context. This is the same knowledge base, but it's a different output for whoever's actually asking the question. Amazing. The third thing that they built was a proposal generator, right? The team spends hours writing custom proposals from scratch. Good proposals, but manual every single time. She built a tool in Claude with past proposals, brand documents, voice examples. Now the team member drops in their call notes from the client conversation that they've had and a few of the key details. The proposal now comes back in the firm's fonts, their logos, their brand colors. 95% of the way there on the first pass. A few minutes of light editing instead of hours of building. This is the part that I want you to sit with, right? She showed all three of these things live, right there in the room. My client described this to me like later on. We were sitting down. She said it felt like the person reached into her brain and pulled out all of the things that she had been carrying for years. The problems that she kept meaning to solve. The things that she'd say that there's got to be a better way to do this. And just built them. She actually got a little emotional telling me about this. This was a big sticking point for her for a long time. I've been thinking about why that moment hit me the way that it did. And here's what I actually think is happening, right? Nobody replaced anybody. The team didn't shrink. No headcount got cut. What changed was what the team could do without the owner having to be in the middle of everything. The scope checker means that the team stops waiting for that judgment call. that already has an answer somewhere. The knowledge base means that a new person doesn't have to find the right human and hope that they have time. The proposal generator means that the person who's good in front of clients doesn't have to become the document builder every time they close a new deal. It's the same team, but it's a different ceiling. And the person who built it, she wasn't the person that knows everything about AI. She wasn't hired to build systems. She was someone who understood the business deeply and cared about the outcome and had enough exposure to the tools to actually go figure it out, right? That combination, deep context, genuine ownership, basic tool access, that is what produced the solutions in time that most people would spend complaining about the same problem. So I see this all the time when working with businesses that are actually moving forward with AI right now. It's not the ones where the owner is personally building everything. It's the ones where the owner has gotten clear enough about the real problems, where the time is actually going, where the owner is the bottleneck, what's broken, that when someone on their team sees an opening, they know exactly what to go build. So if I'm honest, I think most owners are asking the wrong question about AI. The question isn't about, what AI tool should I learn? It's really about what do the people around me know about our real problems? Because if the friction points are still stuck in your head, if your team can't name the top 3 places where the work slows down or where every judgment call comes back to you, it doesn't matter what tools they have access to. They don't have enough context to know what to go build. The owner I was working with didn't tell her team member to go build those 3 things. She created an environment where someone on her team felt enough ownership over the problems that they went and figured it out. That is a completely different kind of leadership than most of what I see. Most owners are the ones building with AI. The better move, once you've gotten deep enough yourself to understand what's possible, it's all about making sure that your team understands the problems well enough to go build towards them. When that happens, when someone shows up with solutions that you didn't ask for, you'll know that you've crossed into something bigger. Because it means that the business stopped depending on you to see the gaps. So by the way, that team member, she isn't a contractor anymore. She joined the business full time because what she showed in that room wasn't just capability with a tool. It was that she understood the business at a level that's hard to hire for. She cared about the outcome in a way that the owner cares, and she had the initiative to act on it before being asked. That is rare. When you find it, don't let that go. I'm putting a lot of this thinking into a book that I am working on right now, the whole operator to owner framework. What it actually looks like to build a business that doesn't run on you. And if you want to be early on the access list, it's on tannerobrien.com/book. And if this is the kind of content that has been useful for you, operator focused, grounded in real business, I encourage you to subscribe. Try to put something out every single week. So with that, we will see you in the next one next week.